10 ways Spider-Man hides his secret identity. There are few Marvel heroes as serious about their identities as Spider-Man is, and he takes his responsibilities seriously. Even though he makes mistakes, protecting his secret identity is one of the most important things. Number 10. He keeps extra costumes stashed throughout the city. As one of the premier street level heroes, Spider-Man fights a lot, and his costumes get damaged. For this reason, he keeps many spares stashed throughout the city in case his costume gets damaged enough to show too much of his face. It's a smart solution, although he isn't made of money, so he makes sure he has extra costumes so his foes can't get any inkling of who he really is. Number 9. He changes his costumes in places only he can get to. Superman used to change his costumes in phone booths and run down the street, which wasn't very smart. Spider-Man is smarter about this sort of thing now, however. He hides his costumes on top of buildings and changes there. Spider-Man is a rather mobile hero, and he can get to places where others can't. This isn't foolproof in a world where enemies can fly, but so far it's worked for him. Number 8. He fixes damaged costumes himself. While Spider-Man keeps extra costumes around, he can always afford to replace them as often as they should be, so he mastered the art of sewing. He is known for being able to repair his own costumes and make his own of it if it comes down to it. He gets into many situations where his costume can get damaged and he can't always replace it. Mastering sewing is just one way of making sure he can keep his costume on. Number 7. His gloves hide his fingerprints. Fingerprints are an easy way of identification. While it doesn't really seem like villains would have access to fingerprint registries, Spider-Man's villains are intelligent and resourceful. Someone like Kingpin could almost definitely get his hands on that sort of thing, and for this reason, he wears gloves. Gloves are a good choice in general for his line of work, but their biggest utility to him is the fact that they hide his fingerprints. While fingerless gloves may look cool, he isn't about to risk his family lives just for the sake of looking fashionable. Number 6. The clothes he wears in his civilian identity hides his body. Spider-Man is pretty fit, and it's a result of the radioactive spider bite. However, others wouldn't expect the mild-mannered Peter Parker to have an athletic body type. In his civilian identity, he doesn't wear anything that shows off his awesome physique. While recognizing someone based on their muscular figure is a long shot, it's not out the realm of possibility. Number 5. He's usually the one that takes all of Spider-Man's pictures. Taking pictures of himself as Spider-Man was both a great way of making money and a way for him to choose how Spider-Man would be portrayed in pictures. By doing this, he was able to take pictures that would make it harder for someone to figure out Spider-Man's identity. It's a shrewd move on so many levels. He made money that he needed and was able to have a say in how Spider-Man was seen, even if he couldn't control the kind of articles that were written. Number 4. He's careful about which heroes he reveals his true identity to. For years, Spider-Man was on the outskirts of the superhero community. Everyone respected him and knew who he was as Spider-Man, but they didn't know who he was under the mask. This was calculated as for him, he didn't want too many people to know who he was. Even though it's changed over the years, Spider-Man still has heroes he likes to team up with more than others, just because he trusts them more. In this way, as few heroes as possible know who he is, which protects his identity because fewer people can talk about it. Number 3. He had reality changed to protect his identity. One More Day received a lot of flack, but it just shows how far he will go to protect his secret identity. One way he protects it is that he will literally change reality to keep his secret, giving up one of the things he held most dear, such as his marriage. Few out there would go to that length or take that step. He may not be able to do it himself, but he will literally change everything to make sure no one knows who he is. At this point, if it ever happened again, he'd probably get Scarlet Witch to do it or talk to Wolverine into getting Xavier to perform a worldwide mind wipe. Number 2. His civilian identity is calculated to keep people from figuring out who he is. Spider-Man is an over-the-top mile-a-minute talker. He can be a bit insufferable in a lot of ways because of this. He's supremely confident, always ready with a joke, and an outgoing personality. This is completely different from Peter Parker, who is more cerebral and introspective. When Peter Parker puts on the mask, he changes his personality. He does everything he can to make sure that someone can't tell who he is by the way he acts. Spider-Man and Peter Parker don't act alike at all, and that is one of the most important ways that Peter protects his identity. Number 1. The design of his costumes is all about protecting his identity. Spider-Man has had many different costumes over the years, but they all have had some design choices in common. They all help protect his identity. His full face mask is one of the biggest protections he has, and a great example of this is the mask's eyes. Many heroes have eye holes that show off their eyes, but he completely covers his eyes. While it looks totally cool, it also protects his retinal patterns from being scanned, which could be used to identify him. On top of that, it also keeps his enemies from not knowing his eye color. It's little design choices like this that just show how much Spider-Man values protecting his own identity. Well, that is it, guys. That is another video showing you the top 10 ways Spider-Man hides his secret identity. I hope you guys enjoyed, so don't forget to leave a like and please do subscribe. We'll catch you for the next video. See ya.